Here is your 1,000-word English story based on the title. You will never become a ballerina, they told the lame girl, but she stepped onto the stage of Paris. Sparkle's 1,000-word inspirational story English. They said it so many times that the words began to echo inside her head like a curse. You will never become a ballerina. The doctors said it first. Her teachers repeated it. Her classmates whispered it behind her back. Even her own relatives, with pity in their eyes, sighed, poor child, it's impossible. But for Lena, the little girl born in a small forgotten Russian village, the word impossible had a different meaning. It was simply a challenge, waiting to be defeated. The little girl with the limp. Lena was born with a deformity in her right leg. It was slightly shorter and weaker, causing her to walk with a visible limp. Every step felt like a reminder of what she couldn't do. But when she was 5 years old, she saw something that made her forget her pain. A ballerina, a traveling ballet troupe performed in a nearby town, and Lena's mother had taken her as a rare treat. On stage, the dancers seemed to float, weightless, as if the world's rules didn't apply to them. Their elegance, strength, and freedom made Lena breathless. That night, she whispered to her mother, "Mama, I want to do that. I want to dance." Her mother smiled sadly but didn't answer. Adults knew reality. Children knew only dreams. A dream too big for her body. The next week Lena tried to copy the dancers she had seen. She used an old wooden broomstick as a bar, practicing in their tiny kitchen. She twirled, stumbled, fell, and got up again. Her limp made her spin unsteadily. Her right foot wouldn't point correctly. Her balance was always off. Her older brother laughed. Her neighbors pitied her. Her mother gently tried to convince her to choose a different hobby, painting, singing, anything but dancing. But Lena refused to stop. Her mother eventually gave up trying to stop her and bought her the cheapest pair of ballet slippers she could find at a second-hand market. They were too big. They were worn down. But when Lena slipped them on, she felt like she had been given wings. The cruel classroom. When Lena was 8, she insisted on joining the local dance school. The teacher, Madame Sokolova, nearly refused her. Ballet is already difficult for a perfectly healthy body, she said. For a girl with your leg, it is impossible. But Lena begged. She cried. She promised she would work harder than anyone. Finally, with a sigh, the teacher allowed her to attend, not because she believed Lena could succeed, but because she didn't want to break the little girl's spirit. But the other students were not as kind. They mocked her limp. They rolled their eyes when she fell. They whispered, "Why is she even here?" Once, after a particularly cruel comment, Lena locked herself in the studio bathroom and cried silently. Her leg throbbed with pain from the lesson. Her heart throbbed even more. She looked in the mirror and whispered, shaking, "One day, I'll show them." The secret mentor. One evening, when Lena was 10, Madame Sokolova asked her to stay after class. Lena feared she would finally be expelled. But the teacher's expression was different, softer, thoughtful. "I watched you today," Sokolova said. "You fall, but you get up. You struggle, but you do not quit. That is something even the best dancers lack." Then she did something unexpected. She began giving Lena private lessons. They worked together every evening after the other students left. Madame Sokolova adjusted her movements, taught her balance corrections, helped her strengthen the weaker muscles in her leg. They practiced until the sun set and the studio lights flickered. Slowly, painfully slowly, Lena improved. She still limped when she walked, but when she danced, something magical happened. Her limp disappeared. The first performance. At 13, Lena performed in the school's winter showcase. She was not given a leading role. No one dared take such a risk, but she had a small solo moment. As she stepped onto the stage, she could hear whispers in the audience. "Is that the lame girl? She shouldn't be here. This will be embarrassing." But when the music started, Lena forgot everything. Her movements weren't perfect, but they were filled with emotion, fierce, raw, beautiful. She danced not with her body, but with her soul. When the performance ended, the applause was hesitant, but it was applause. For Lena, that was enough. The road to Paris. At 16, Lena auditioned for a prestigious ballet academy in Moscow. She didn't get accepted, not because of lack of talent, but because of her leg. One judge, reading her medical file, said bluntly, "Physically unfit. Ballet requires symmetry." Next, Lena walked out with tears burning her eyes, but her fire didn't die. She auditioned again the next year. And again, and again. Reject, reject, reject. But each rejection sharpened her resolve. She entered smaller academies, trained with anyone who would teach her, and performed in small theaters. Her videos started gaining attention online. People were drawn to her passion, the way she danced with defiance. Finally, at 19, something extraordinary happened. A recruiter from a Paris contemporary ballet company saw one of her performances. He didn't care about her limp. He didn't care about symmetry. He cared about expression, and Lena had more of it than anyone he had ever seen. He invited her to audition. The stage of Paris. Standing backstage at the Paris theater, Lena felt her legs shaking. Not just the weak leg, both legs. She remembered every insult, every laugh, every rejection. You will never become a ballerina. But now she was here. The lights brightened. The music began. Lena stepped onto the stage of Paris, the dream she had once whispered in a tiny village kitchen. Her movements were bold, powerful, emotional. She poured her entire life into every step. The pain, the discipline, the humiliation, the hope. When she finished, the audience didn't just clap. They rose to their feet. It was a standing ovation. The words that no longer hurt. After the show, a journalist asked her, "How did you become a ballerina despite your leg?" Lena smiled softly and answered, "They said I never could. So I decided I must. If you want, I can also generate. Checkmark a video script for this story. Checkmark a short TikTok, YouTube story version. Checkmark a thumbnail prompt. Checkmark a dramatic voiceover style version. Just tell me."